I'll be reacting to the Heike story, episode 11. I'll be watching it from Funimation's website, and I'll be starting my reaction in 1-0, go. Alright, I'm pumped up for this. Hopefully, the last episode is properly paced. Although, for the most part, the series has been consistent. The last few have been uneven, but who knows? Okay, so far, it already looks more beautiful than some of the other episodes in the series, like the movements of the water. Like, they look beautifully hand-drawn. Oh, fuck, I do not like the sound of that, because that sounds like a ripe opportunity for Kotoko, and not just her, but her son, to be dropped into the water by accident. The thing is, though, even though, yes, they may have more capabilities of taking on their opposition in the water, that same confidence is what has doomed the Heike from the start of the series, unfortunately. But in saying that, oh boy, I can't wait to see this. I gotta admit, now that's how you set up a cliffhanger at the right before an opening. Like, you already know shit's real when the directing stuff is already on their A game. Having the opening properly set so that it makes for maximum pain right before an episode starts. That is damn impressive. Now, and saying that, there are a few things I hope this series covers. And it's going to take a lot. Hopefully, it can somehow close up Biwa's arc, which for the most part, they have done that. But I hope they can do something with her, because if she doesn't affect the plot at all in the final episode, then I think she would have been better off just closing her story off in episode 10. So I hope they can properly utilize her in this episode. Hope they can close off Kotoko's character arc and the arc of her child pretty well. And then there's Tsukimori, too. Like, honestly, I do not know how the writing staff is going to do that all in a single episode. That's a lot of characters that they have to, like, close off their stories simultaneously. But you know what? I'm going to remain optimistic and just hope for the best once the episode starts again. I am going to miss hearing this opening alongside every new Heike story episode because it's beautiful. Oof. Damn, that bird's a fucking badass. Oof. I'm assuming the Genji Warriors are going to be the bird and the Heike are going to be the branches in this case, though. That's absolutely wishful thinking in this situation. Just like the look of fear on all their faces really adds a lot of tension. It's really impressive, too, is they're actually going all out, because unlike the previous episodes, you actually do see a lot of people moving on screen simultaneously with some nice facial reactions. For someone like, yeah, there's a few stills here and there. But for the most part, this episode's among the ones that has the most animation overall. Man, I love his bravery, like, straight up. But the thing is, bravery can... Oh, fuck. I mean, I understand that Tsukimori's forces are getting the upper hand. I hope this guy did not jinx themselves, because when he says the tornado is on our side, I'm like, bro, don't tempt Mother Nature. Oh. Because I've learned, because at least it applies to me in... No. His ice must not see. Good. No, she has to stay firm. mature line from Bio. That was fucking awesome. I gotta say, even though you can tell the boat's running with CGI, it's a beautifully done CGI. My goodness. Honestly, the episode so far has been a visual marvel. I wonder how much time it took when it came to the production of this episode, because I've heard that when it comes to the animation process in most anime episodes, it's like 3 to 2 months for normal episodes. But for the bigger budgeted ones, it's 6, at least from what I've read on some Sakuga board websites and on the Naruto forums for the most. Yeah. That's why I said earlier, the guy that says the Tana is on our side, I was like, this motherfucker jinxed all of them in saying that and getting 2. Oh, that. I got a gut feeling this is going to become a horror anime for like a few minutes with all them sharks. At least it looked like sharks. Oh. Oh! No, you normally don't see dolphins associated with death in anime. I actually like that bit where... The thing is, though, it feels like old times, but with certainly different external circumstances now. But I do love how Tokotoka is trying to have a maturity to calm everyone in the surrounding area. That's what I said earlier. The man got too cocky. Yo, the music is absolutely epic. Although, in saying that, yep, it looks like everything's going to go absolutely south. The only thing I wish with the series did is I really wish it gave us more sequences involving the Genji perspective, though. They did a decent job showing us the Heike perspective, but I would have loved to have seen more about them because this event would have only been much more grander if I would have known the perspective of the Genji and the characters and all that. Yeah, they did give us snippets, but not as much as, say, the Heike side in comparison. Yeah, the moment this track played, they were fucked. I wonder if the retreat is still an option for the Heike because at this point it turned from like a battle to like a one-sided beatdown now. Something I gotta mention, I even like how you can tell their animation quality is so good that you even see their clothes moist and wet too when those two came out of the water. It's definitely more detailed because some anime I've seen clothing can look dry as fuck even after characters coming out of the water. I love that attention to detail. And probably put towards execution or something. Oh, never mind. The thing is, it's already all meaningless, so they've lost. I mean, the point of all the drifting was to probably buy themselves a few more time to survive and live a few more years, at least how I perceive it. Yes, well, life may be rough. The thing is, though, the life for the current generation's going to be screwed over, but not for the life of the next generation. I mean, the Emperor's going to be treated roughly, even though he wouldn't deserve it. The thing is, though, it'd be kind of sad, though, if they ended up losing their lives. I mean, when death, Here's the thing: if they continue resisting, they're going to die. If they surrender, yes, they're going to live in disgrace, probably, but they'll have a chance of life, and at the very least, the emperor will have a chance of making a life of himself. Yeah, they're both shitty situations, but then again, I'm not going to really blame him for any decision they make, though. I love that visual symbolism, like just going all down with like the boat burning. It's really a prominent looking visual there. And I said, yeah, I said, oh, he can't even start her directly. Mm-hmm. Oh, oh no, he's gone delirious. I feel bad for him. Oh man, I hope she doesn't do something crazy to the emperor. No, 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 no. Hope she does not consider throwing him to the water. Oh! Okay, if there's any time for Bua to take action in her life, she should do it now. She should definitely do it now. Because I feel this lady's going to consider throwing the Emperor and all the treasures so that the Genji can't claim those. But the thing is, there'd be something sad because even though, yes, they keep it away from the Genji, you'd be losing a lot of like historical value. Yes, I understand there's such a thing as pride, but then you'd be losing such like a beautiful bit of history, though. The treasures would have just be lost to sea forever. It's honestly a confounding situation here. Now, of course, if yes, it was like there are items that can give, say, an army a tactical advantage, and I understand destroying them so that the enemy can't gain access to them. Oh boy. Usually when the lady sings like this, a bat shit happens. Or who knows, maybe the Emperor will be saved. Hopefully. Because I just have a feeling the lady's going to do something bad to the boy. Oh no, they're actually all going with this. Oh no. She's going to go through with it. No, I don't, no, come on. No, I don't want to see the boy die. I mean, there's hope. We saw his mother get a rock, so oh no, what? You know, I'm surprised the Emperor's mother didn't jump into the wall. Okay, at least she's gonna do it. Meanwhile, you should have said something earlier to go to that her son was gonna be thrown into the, unless she, or you know what, never mind. Maybe she's also gonna end her life to join her son into the after. Oh yeah, it seems like that's gonna be the case. The thing is, though, Takoto's too heavy. She would have, because even if she were to rescue Takoto, what's to stop Takoto from also jumping into the water again because her son lost her life? I do like this. So at the very least, she's trying to change the future. And that's a lot of character development for Biwa here. Because this is the first time she takes action. Oh, that's pretty fucking sad, though. And also, the Emperor was too precious for the world. But damn him, I was kind of hoping he would have at least managed to escape with. Oh yeah, I wonder if Biwa was going to lose her eyesight because it looks like the color of her eyes dimmed out a bit. What, are we going to be seeing a mass suit? Whoa! So they're all going to be going for mass suicides. Oh my. Oh no. Oh man. I mean, that's actually one of the most depressing endings. I mean, I guess I understand it's either end your life or be killed. Oh shit, yeah, it looks like Biwa became blind. I mean, shit, with all that's happened, shit, it would pretty much knock back almost anyone. Just a shame that that's the last thing. I'm assuming that's the last thing you'll ever see, though. But I mean, the ending did make sense, though. I'll have to hand it to the series, though. It masterfully it did what I thought was impossible. It actually landed the ending. Last week, I didn't think that was possible, but that's one way of doing it. Wonder what's going to happen here. Oh. I mean, hey, you know what's better, a life than death, though? I mean, hey, at least she survived. Even though it's of the worst of circumstances, but. You know, that's a wonderful perspective. Even though things have completely gone south for the most part, at the very least, only positive I can take here is that she, at the very least, got to experience all those pleasantries there in life before all the bad things happen. Because it takes a strong person to be able to look at things positively in any way, shape, or form, despite what happened in her life. The thing is, I ended up with the whole end result of the clan. Of the clansmen losing their lives, though. Now I'm just curious as to like Biwa's whereabouts, but honestly, there's no really set answer for on how someone can overcome suffering. Everyone has, well, that's one option. But some other options are usually sharing your feelings with other people, doing things to get rid of stress. There's honestly multiple ways of getting rid of suffering. There's no set answer. There's something really beautiful about that because that's also something Biwa does now too when it comes to praying in order to oh, all right. I actually like that small bit with them showing off Biwa like that. And I love how, even though, yes, Biwa wasn't able to affect the narrative much, at least she was able to, at the very least, have at least an impact towards Tokoto at the very least. Yes, it may not be a lot in like the grand scheme of things, but hey, you know what? It's better than nothing. And you know, that's a good message there. Because when someone's young, they sometimes will think things are internal, but eventually you have to realize that all good things have an end, but then all bad things have their own end too. And there's nothing internal in life. I love how now you Shigemori's voice in this bit now. Kind of like how this episode also explains how Biwa transitions from the way she was towards her being the white-haired little lady that they show off in multiple episodes in the series too. Also have to comment on that. I gotta admit, that was an exceptional ending right there, straight up. And there's something that also made the ending extra exceptional too. Just given the fact that in a way it kind of started out with her father playing the Biwa and it ends with her playing the Biwa, but much older now. But when I give my rating overall to the final episode, honestly, I'm shocked, and I mean that in a good way, because going into reacting this episode, I was like, oh, this is probably going to end up like most of the anime I watched this year, where they have great starts, but then they start getting rushed in the middle, and then they have rushed us all ending. This series somehow, by some miracle, avoided that fate that I see most anime fall into, and for that, I gotta just salute to the animators and writing stuff, because the ending, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. The final episode, it was that fucking good. If you're wondering why I can't give it a 10 out of 10, it's because the building leading up to, like all the buildup involving the Genji, felt a bit rushed, but damn, I just really love how they handle things. For one, the whole Heike clan either being killed or the rest of the remaining survivors killing themselves. It makes sense because throughout the series, they've established that multiple members of the Heike clan, they're full of pride. Like, for example, a few episodes ago, Tsukumori had the option of escaping because he was given information beforehand, and instead he chose to stay and fight, despite the rough circumstances a few episodes ago. So seeing this a bit in the final episode where they all chose just to end their lives, it fit narratively. It made sense. They built up to it. It didn't feel like it was just sadness just for the sake of sadness. And that's what really made the final episode great, because at least from someone who before seeing this episode didn't really know the historical context on things, it led to a damn surprising ending. So for that, I gotta give the episode props. 2. Another thing that I also gotta give props towards the series also, aside from the absolutely amazing ending, was just how in the final episode we got to see Biwa at the very least utilize her powers to save someone, because throughout the whole series we see her always complain that she can't really change events, she can't do anything, and it was a nice to at the very least see her actually at least change someone's life, going up against the narrative in the series where she can't really change anything. At least she was able to change someone's life. And that was absolutely beautiful. And it perfectly segues into the character development. Biwa, she went through a lot of growth, because in this episode we see her gain a lot of wisdom and we see her save a life. She becomes more assertive. Yes, not absolutely assertive, but she at least does something. And I think that was, at the very least, something more than I could have said early in the episodes. Because early in the episodes, it felt like Biwa didn't really do much. At least here, she saved a life. And speaking of which, something I also love about this episode too, I love the fact that you get character development for Takota, because even though, yes, she lost absolutely everything, I love how she still found the strength to want to live on. And so at the very least, acknowledge that even though she can't do much, the only thing she can really do is just pray. Even though, yes, it's a sad, somber ending, it fits the tone of the series extremely, extremely well. And that's why I absolutely loved the character development for her. And I even love the themes on the episode where it's like everything must come to an end eventually. It was like a sad message, to be honest. And they executed it so well too. And that's why I thought the episode was just absolutely phenomenal. Now, in saying that, the animation quality was also damn good too. It was well done. I love the boat movements. It was just fucking phenomenal. And the artwork was absolutely beautiful too. Some bits just felt like absolute paintings. And that's why I thought the episode just finally crafted from start to finish. Now, in saying that, even though I do give the final episode a 9 out of 10 overall, let me now rate the series overall, which is going to be sort of different. Now, if I had to rate the series overall from a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being abysmal, 5 being average, and 10 being exceptional, originally, I was still going to give the series a 6 out of 10 for above average, but this final episode just took it into a whole new levels. So now I'm going to have to bump up that rating from like overall 6 out of 10 to now a 7.25 out of 10, which in my scale is absolutely good. Because let me explain why I couldn't give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 before I was saying, Enemy Caveman, why aren't you going to give it a higher score? Because even though the first 4 episodes and this final episode were absolutely and utterly fantastic, and also I thought the death scene of Atsumori and Korimori were absolutely fantastic, I still got to mention the fact that the first few episodes of the series are not the first few, the middle portions of the episodes are rushed. I feel like the series didn't do enough in building up the Genji. So while I cared about the side involving the Heike. I didn't really care about the Genji that much. I felt the circumstances surrounding Korimori's death were a little bit too abrupt because literally the info dump that he had a few successes here and there, but we didn't see him on screen. We only saw his failures. And then we didn't really get to see his family life and all that. While in the early episodes, the series built up Shigemori. We got to see Shigemori's family life so that when Shigemori died, shit, I was tearing up. But when Korimori died, I was like, oh yeah, that's sad, but it didn't have the same effect because they didn't build him up as much as his father was built up. And that's why I felt this series really should have had 22 episodes, considering that it was in the, I believe, let me see if it was in the Notemia's time slot. That's why I really felt that this series would have been better off just having 22 episodes instead of just 11, because I think with 22 episodes, it would have been able to flesh things out a little bit more. And then there were a few other things, too, that I felt this series could have done a bit better, though. I feel like it could have expanded the battles a little bit more so they get further context to what went down in the series, because don't get me wrong, yes, they did the bare minimum in explaining what went down after a conflict through info dumps, but come on now, it's an animation. They're supposed to show what happened, because the advantages of the animation medium is that you're supposed to show your audience things, not just explain it. And that's one of the downsides of the series. And I'm not knocking the source material for the Heike story, because from what I gander, it's a lot longer and it goes through things in greater detail. But it's like, I feel whoever was in charge of producing the series should have tried going for 22 episodes. Because I believe this series would have been 22 episodes long. This would have been like a 9 or even a 10 caliber series, all things considered, if it just would have had more episodes to flesh things out. But the way they think things in the series, it's like, holy shit, they barely gave events time to breathe. Same again for the first 4 episodes and episode 11 of the series, which is the finale. That's why I got to limit my overall rating to a 7.25 out of 10, which, again, this series is still good enough to be in my top 10 anime of the year, because a 7 out of 10 rating is something I haven't really given to a lot of anime this year. For most animes, I've given 4s, which is below average, 3 below average, 5 average, 6 a bit above average. 7.25 out of 10 is actually something I don't really give much to most anime. Think about it. I'll actually bump up my rating to a 7.5 out of 10, because thinking about it, I do gotta give a lot of respect to the visual craftsmanship of the series too. And all things considered, even though the series was rushed, I still think that it did things better than some of the series that I have rated a 7.5. It's like Odd Taxi, because at the very least, the series had an ending that was fantastic. But in saying that, so yeah, there were things the series could have done better. But in saying that, I don't want to end off my reaction on a sour note, because overall, the series did a lot of fantastic things. I thought Shigemori was a great character. We saw the downsides to his character, but the upsides to his character too. I love that. We saw Sukimori develop from an unlikable kid to a lovable man when the series ended. It just made the events in this episode even sadder. We saw our girl Biwa be completely passive to, at the very least, being a little bit more assertive in the final episode and gaining conviction to pray when the series is run ending. So there was a lot of substantial growth for characters in the series, a lot of positives I can gander from it. There was also characters like the Emperor, and not just the Emperor, but also Tukoko, that were also really great characters too, that he just loved, especially her conviction early on in the series when Tukoko was saying stuff like, if you don't do what I'm saying, then I'm going to cut my hair and become a nun. I love how in some of the early episodes she was willing to threaten people that were in high positions of power. I thought that was absolutely cool, and it made her into such a wonderful character. And just seeing the love she had for her boy too also made her such a wonderful character too. So there were a lot of positives. Honestly, this series is so well written that the side characters of this series have more depth than a lot of the main characters in most of normal anime I've seen this year. So that's why I have to give this series an above average rating despite it rushing in the middle. And honestly, the direction of the series from the animation staff, even though you could tell the series didn't have the highest amount of budget, Science Sorrow and also the director of the series, Nako Yamada, did a fantastic job with what they had to work with because the artwork in the series was stylish, memorable. At least from my perspective, I can tell they put on their blood, sweat, and tears to make it come to life. And I even love the effects of the water in the boats because the water, it looked hand-drawn with the boats. Even though you can tell it was CG, it looked really beautiful. So honestly, the series had some moments where it was a masterclass in animation. While yes, there were some weaker animated episodes in there, for the most part, the series was above average visually. And the voice acting was just absolutely wonderful. So that's why overall, I still got to give the series a high score of a 7.5 out of 10. And it's definitely among my top anime of the year for sure. It's going to be in my top 10. Unless, say, this year happens to have a lot of anime that just happen to land their ending. But so far, the only anime that I could say would be above this anime for me this would just be Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai, of course. That would be Florette's Ice Song would be above this for me. I would also probably put, aside from those two, Fruits Basket, of course. That was just marvelous from start to finish. Just at the top of my head, Demon Slayer, when it comes back, is probably going to be really up there. So probably those four, and that's not taking into consideration the stuff from this year. Oh, and of course, Magic Record Madoka Magica. Can't forget about that one. But honestly, though, save for Super Crooks ended up being absolutely amazing, and I haven't seen Arcane yet. But even those, if those end up being amazing, this series will still be in my top 10 anime of the year list. So, regardless, this series is pretty damn good. I absolutely liked it. And hell, if it were to get an English dub, I'd probably give it a rewatch with how well done it was. And honestly, this series was well enough and done to the point where I'm actually going to be curious now on the books that it's based off of. I'm actually real curious now to see if they sell them on Amazon. And yeah, that's pretty much my extended thoughts on how I feel about the series overall. Even though, yes, there were downsides, the positives way outweighed the negatives in my personal perspective. And I'm going to miss this series for sure. Hell, I thought it would have been great if this series would have had 22 episodes. That's how much I love this series, where I wished it was longer, you know? But hey, what can you do? I still thought the 11 episodes it had were still very memorable. But anyways, y'all, these are my thoughts on Heike Story episode 11 and the series in general. I would really love to hear your thoughts on how I feel about my reaction or the episode itself in the comment section below. Hope y'all rate the video, share it, comment, or subscribe, and I will see y'all later if you come back for more. But anyways, y'all, thank you very much for watching my video, and have a fantastic day, everyone. Bye-bye.